Hello, my fellow human beings, and welcome to episode 89 of The Best Blessed Life. I'm your best host, Kristen, and today's topic is eat chicken, Sesame, or eggnog your bread off. Before I get started, I want to thank you all for watching. Please continue to watch, comment, share, like, subscribe, ring that bell, and please pass them on to anyone you think that they would help. And with that being said, our list of things to do today is our daily inspirations, which I'm going to read off my phone because I forgot to write them down again. We're going to talk about now that we're through the holidays, we're going to talk about through the holidays, what that feels like, okay? And then we're making chicken and bread. If you didn't get that from the title, I was trying to make it sound like eat chicken, says me, or I'll knock eggnog your head off. I don't know. I was being violent, I guess. So we're making simple, easy peasy, ha ha ha, she says, crock pot sesame chicken and eggnog bread. I wanted to send a happy birthday to my friend Crystal. Happy birthday, Crystal. I'm a little leery about this chicken recipe because it basically just says throw your chicken into the crock pot for 3 hours. No seasoning, no anything. I'm going to go over the recipe with you because I want to do that before I do the daily inspirations. But I have, let me do that. Let's just do the chicken one first. That way I can stay on track, she says, hopefully. Okay, so it's 3 pounds of chicken breasts, boneless and skinless. I didn't write that down. 1 cup of Asian toasted sesame dressing, and good luck finding it. I'm not even kidding. There was with this recipe a Kraft Asian toasted sesame, but I can't find that anywhere near me, and I'm in the Chicagoland area. So if you live near me, you go to Jewel's and you get their brand. It's called Signature Select. It smells pretty yummy. And then it's 1/3 of a cup of apricot preserves and 1 ounce of the dry. I didn't even see if this was more than an ounce of the dry onion soup mix. Sesame seeds and green onions to taste. And what I'm gonna do, or to garnish. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna toast my sesames at some point after I get the bread out of the way. So really, all you're gonna see me do is put some chicken in a crock pot. And like I said, I'm really nervous, but I understand, you know, with the Asian dressing, there's probably, sorry, I'm off camera, my board keeps falling. With the Asian recipe, there probably is a high sodium content. So I'm guessing you don't need the salt for that, and it also has garlic and other things, and then you get the sweetness from the apricot preserves. I don't have quite 3 pounds. I have 2 1/4. But you do with what you have. So maybe you want to use a different type of chicken. I would think you'd get more flavor from like a thigh, especially when you're cooking it in the crock pot. But I didn't have any thighs. I did have drumsticks I forgot about that I could have used for this. But I forgot all about them, to be honest. And I had just got these chicken breasts. Every time I go to Aldi now, I keep getting chicken breasts for half off. So I've been getting them for really cheap. That chicken there, I think it was like $2 for almost 3 pounds. So that's pretty decent. So this essentially is just going over there. It says high for 3 hours or low for 6. After the cook time, you drain the juices from the crock pot, and that's when you mix the dressing and everything. And I'll mix that for you at some point during this episode. And then you cook it in the crock pot for an additional half an hour, which I think I would cut in the flavorings a little bit earlier just because there is no seasoning on this chicken. And so therefore, let's get this guy going on high. Move my sign for a second. I was camouflaging my crock pot. Not purposefully, but So that's my thought process, is that why not season it earlier? I can see maybe not seasoning it quite at the beginning because you want to render some of those juices off. And I can't imagine it would take that long that you only need a half an hour to cook it with the flavorings on it. So I'm going to actually start it a little bit earlier. Putting the sauce on, I mean. Sorry. Okay. And then we have this lovely recipe I'm going to do over here. And remember I talked to you last week, I'm going to start doing the healthier thing now. I gave us all some yummy recipes for the holiday season. Oh, let me talk about last week's, I think it was called Nutella shortbread bars. And I didn't actually use Nutella, I used cookie butter. Okay, so delicious. Okay. And had I listened to the lady when she said it should look crispy on the top and might not necessarily get golden, I should have listened, because I cooked it for that extra time after I let y'all go, and it got a little dry on the top, but the flavor profile is there. Even the dry bits are not offensive to me. I eat them. They fall off is the only thing. And maybe compressing them into the cookie butter layer would have been a little bit more helpful too, which I didn't think about because I feel like I used too much for the topping when I should have used more for the bottoming, if that makes any sense. I don't know. All right, so we're going to get going on this eggnog bread. And I substituted some things, but not all things. So it is 2 eggs, 1.5 cups eggnog, 1 teaspoon rum extract, that's a substitution, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 1/2 cup softened butter, that's a substitution, 2¼ cups flour sifted, that's a substitution, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 3.4 ounces of vanilla pudding, which is 1 box, that's a substitution, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, that's a substitution. That's the bread part, and then the glaze is 1 cup powdered sugar sifted, that's a substitution, 2 to 3 tablespoons of eggnog, 1/4 teaspoon of butter extract, I didn't have that, I didn't even know it existed, that's a substitution, 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, that's a substitution, and we're preheated at 350, and we did spray our loaf pan with nonstick spray. Okay, so the first thing we have to do in the mixer, we have to mix the eggs, eggnog, rum, and vanilla, sugar, and butter. Okay, here's the thing. My replacement for rum extract is almond, and my replacement for butter is coconut oil. Yes, I'm a glutton for punishment. I did find somewhere that it said if you needed, this was just an example they threw out there. If you needed 10 cups of something, of butter, then you technically should only use 7.5 cups of coconut oil. So I went with that. It called for 1/2 cup of softened butter, and I'm using 3 ounces of coconut oil, and it's not melted or anything. It's just super duper soft. The 2¼ cups of flour sifted. I bought a new brand of flour. I joined Costco, you guys. I joined Costco. I can't believe it. Okay, so I got really excited. They had this flour there, and it's called 1-on-1, gluten-free, you know, the whole 9 yards. And it says 1-on-1 replacement for whole wheat flour. Well, I didn't see that until today. But I read through their website alone that for the most part you probably could do 1-to-1 ratio replacement. But if you find that your dough is to this or to that. So, in essence, we are doing an experiment because I'm trying something new. They did recommend that if you are using totally their flour, to maybe add 1 to 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. So, what I did was, I did the 2 cups of the new gluten-free flour. I did 1/4 cup of the regular all-purpose flour. And then I have 1 to 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar set off to the side to see if I'm going to need those. It's supposed to help. I don't quite understand it, but I do think it adds a nice nutritional element. Apple cider vinegar is supposed to be very good for you. Okay, so that's getting put in there and mixed on medium for 2 minutes. Then we're going to mix together our dry ingredients and slowly mix with wet mix. Okay, so the dry ingredients, I'm hoping that means they are including the vanilla pudding. So for the replacement for the vanilla pudding, I am using sugar-free cheesecake pudding. And that requires at least 3 boxes. You're supposed to use a little bit more than that because each one of those is 1 ounce as opposed to regular pudding that's 3.4 ounces. So I needed 3 of those, and that gets me to 3 ounces. I'm hoping that works right. And then we're supposed to slowly mix with the wet ingredients, and then we pour in the loaf pan and bake for 55 to 65 minutes or till toothpick comes out clean. All right, so again, I'm a little leery. I hate using my really good eggnog for an experiment, but I also want to know what this eggnog bread would taste like with my really good eggnog. It's a brand in the Chicagoland area called Oberweis. It's so thick, it's like melted ice cream. I think I've talked about it before. Their chocolate milk is very delicious too. I don't typically drink normal milk. I put it in my coffee, but that's about it. All right, guys, so we're gonna get going. Like I said, I'm a little nervous. Okay, so eggs, eggnog, and the funny thing about the the almond extract is so potent. I'm a little nervous about using a full teaspoon, to be honest. Yes, I'm back to using regular eggs. All these are from the store. I haven't seen my niece in a while, so it's going to be a minute before I can get some more from her. Okay, and then, what was it? Eggs, eggnog. So this is my eggnog in here. Pour that in. Oh, and then my replacement for the allspice, which I don't have and I don't think I like, is it's a mix of clove, ground clove, and cinnamon, ground cinnamon. And I believe the ratio was 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and I think I might have even used a little bit more than that. 1¼ teaspoons, 1/8, and then like I think it was 1/8 of a teaspoon to 1/4 teaspoon of the. And then from that little mixture that I made, I separated out the 1/8 of the teaspoon I was going to need for the glaze and the ½ teaspoon that I'm going to need for the actual recipe itself. Okay, so this is the eggs and the eggnog, and then I also need to put in here what I'm using for my rum, which is I gotta make sure I'm not putting the apple cider. Yeah, that's the rum. I said rum, but it's really the almond. So it's gonna have a little bit of a cherry flavor, you know, amaretto kind of. They did say vanilla too, okay. Vanilla. And I'm just now realizing I have no sugar written down here. I forgot to write down what the sugar amount was. You guys, I'm going to have to put you on hold. I'll be back in a minute, hopefully. Okay, sorry about that. It's 1 cup of sugar. My substitution is the cane, so it's not as processed, which hopefully is nice. Okay, so I got the rum and the vanilla. Yes, and the vanilla and the sugar, and then the butter too. Which, remember, we're using the. I need a scrapey thing. We're using the, fingers crossed, we're using the coconut oil, but less. that this is going to make that big of a difference. Let's just, because I'm trying to do 3, and I think I'm a little over 3 by quite a bit, actually. So I'm going to take, I took a little too much in that one corner, but I think that's better. I don't know where to put this now. I'll put it in my sugar container for now. Just have it hanging off the side there. Okay. Guys, let's not overdo it, right? We'd rather be err on the side of caution, so to speak. So let's not make it greasy, is my theory. I'm even leery about putting this little on, but I'm going to do it. Alright, so we're supposed to mix this for on medium for 2 minutes, but I'm going to get it started on low just so I'm not whirling eggnog and stuff everywhere. Trying to get that broken up. I can't believe I forgot to write the sugar. And it's not the first time, right? I've forgotten a lot. Just goes to show that any recipe can be saved. I forgot, don't forget, that I make these recipes for you right in front of you for the very first time. Including substitutions, which you would think would be a little crazy to start with messing with the recipe, but I like to make it mine right off the bat, you know? Alright, let's get on that medium because I'm not really at medium yet. It's very... Okay. I'm going to start that 2 minutes now. I don't know what whipping... I'm guessing it does something to the eggs because it's very, very liquidy right now. Based on the ingredients I'm supposed to put in there, which is the eggs, the eggnog, rum, vanilla, sugar, and butter. Alright, I guess while we're waiting, I could start reading you some of these. Hopefully you can hear me. Testing, testing. If I could figure out. I'm up to 102 followers, you guys. Keep them coming. It's so exciting. Okay, so archives. Archive. Where are you? So starting from today, it's January 12th. A wonderful thing about true laughter is that it just destroys any kind of system of dividing people. John Cleese. For yesterday, nothing is too wonderful to be true if it be consistent with the laws of nature. The 10th, the planet is a vast and beautiful place, full of exciting and wonderful people. Ashland Gorse Cousteau. The 9th, the brain is a wonderful organ. It starts working the moment you wake up in the morning and does not stop until you get into the office. Robert Frost. I thought that was funny. The 8th, it's a wonderful thing to be optimistic. It keeps you healthy and it keeps you resilient. Daniel Kahneman. The 7th, how wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world. Anne Frank. The 6th, appreciation is a wonderful thing. It makes what is excellent in others belong to us as well. And then last Thursday, childhood itself is secretly more lovely than a cheerful, kindly, sunshiny old age. Lydia M. Child. I'll go do it one more. There is no personal charm so great as the charm of a cheerful temperament. Henry Van Dyke. I'll go one more. Never hurry. Take plenty of excuse she gives. Always be cheerful. Take all the sleep you need. You may expect to be well. I don't remember who wrote that, but it obviously was not. Alright. So we're mixed up. Like I said, I'm a little nervous. Okay, so now we're supposed to mix together our dry ingredients, which I did. But I need to put the pudding in here, I guess. I think that's what they meant. I don't know. Maybe I should put the pudding in here. What do you guys think? Maybe I should alternate between pudding and flour. Let's try that. So let's do half of this. And we'll do, let me get this up here. Whoa. And we'll do a couple shimmy shakes of that. Now the only way we're going to be able to judge this is how well it sets up. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that it sets up ever so beautifully. I left my spatula over there, because you know, that's how I roll. Okay, so I see a little bit of coconut oil on there. It smells really good, but smells have never been our problem for the most part. Okay, so more of this pudding. We'll do the other half. Get that in there. And we'll do another shimmy shake or two of this. I'm only going to add the apple cider vinegar if I notice any issues with the amount of flour, or if it's too runny, as I get stuff too runny. It's supposed to give us more of a binder, I think. I don't think it's going to be a problem, to be honest. But I've thought that way before. Right. Okay, so let's get this on the sides. Have you guys been able to tell the common word for each of the week's worth of quotes? Every Friday, I start with a new word, and then I do whoop. I don't know where that went. On my sweater. Do a week's worth with that word, and then I switch words. All right. Oh, it's nice and thick already. I wonder if I should wait to add any more of the jello. Let's see what adding the rest of the flour does for us first. How's that? Because remember, we're also messing with the flour mixture here a little bit, because I didn't use I'm using a gluten-free flour. And pudding's gluten-free? I really should have checked that, huh? I'll have to take a look. Yeah, see what's going to happen is they said with their flour, because it's a replacement for whole wheat, is that it might appear more dense. So if that happens, I think I will add the apple cider vinegar as well. I don't want to play too loosey-goosey, and I am not familiar with baking enough to know what's too much and what's not enough, and, you know. I think we might have actually been able to reduce down the amount of pudding we needed because of the flour that we used. I could be wrong. It would not be the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last. I think there is something inherently wrong with the base of my mixer because of I'm almost positive I screwed in the bowl, and yet it was still loose right now. So I don't know. Yeah, it's getting pretty overly stretchy dough-like. So I'm not sure we're going to need that extra pudding, to be honest. Because as it is, I am looking to maybe add this apple cider vinegar to see if it gives us that.
for? I am going to make a call to add, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of the apple cider vinegar to this. I don't know, I just want to see what the flavor profile becomes then also, you know? It's quite beautiful though. It's got good flavor. Do I risk it? Yeah, she says, knowing what will happen. Okay, so let's do, this is a 1/2 teaspoon. So I'm going to try that. Change it much. I don't know that if it takes a while. There's the other 1/2 teaspoon. Okay. It's very, very stretchy. And I know some of that has to do with the pudding. Really good. I mean, all you can taste is the eggnog, and I haven't even put in the seasoning yet. Let's do that. More like real bread, you know? Whereas I thought it was going to be more like banana bread. Come on, calm down. Yeah, I think adding any more pudding would just make our mixture that much more gelatinous, which I don't think we want. Come off there, please. Okay, I'm debating what I'm doing here because I really don't want it to be too dense or too gummy. I think they said if it gets too gummy would be another way. I think I'm gonna add. Let me get this all scraped out and everything. I'm going to scrape off the sides. Okay. Ha ha ha, she says. Okay. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to taste it again, especially now since we add the seasonings. Okay, and the other bonus is I don't taste the apple cider vinegar, which is what I was worried about. So I do believe I'm going to add the other. Oh my gosh, that is so good, you guys. Oh, if you love eggnog as much as I do, I say give this a try. I don't know really what this apple cider vinegar does in the general scheme of things, but I'm hoping it'll give us a little bit less stretchy dough. Or it's giving us more stretchy dough, who knows? Okay. I think we're going to have to call it just because I don't want to keep messing with it. But keep in mind, we only use 1 sugar-free. And that might be my other downfall. See? I got a lot of downfalls going, I guess.
I just think this is going to add insult to injury by incorporating it in here when it's so stiff as it is. I'm excited and nervous at the same time because, like I said, I haven't been writing these recipes down. If this actually works, and I haven't written down the apple cider vinegar portion of it, I know I'm going to be in big trouble. So far, I've added 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. I should learn to keep my dry erase marker close at hand so that I can keep notes. Alright, so I know it seems a little counterproductive that I said through the holidays and then I'm making eggnog bread. But, you know, you have leftover eggnog. You don't want it to go bad, right? I mean, I have eggnog everywhere now, though. It's in my freezer. I have several jugs in my freezer for just such a thing because I kept saying to myself, buy more, because you ran out last year. It's such an early part. And now that I know they have Easter eggnog, thank you, Natasha White, for that brilliant not keeping that one to yourself. I had no idea they had Easter, which makes more sense. Hello, it's eggnog. Alright, I give up. This stuff is very, very sticky, so it's going to be even more fun trying to get it into the pan. I have a feeling. But the flavor's there. The nice thing about the apple cider vinegar is I feel like it took out some of that sugar-free flavoring you kind of get with sugar-free jellos, so puddings. So I'm hoping that's the case. Oh, it's so heavy. The other thing is, when I looked up this recipe, maybe it says on here. It just says 8 servings. It doesn't say how many loaves you get. I'm assuming it's 1 because it just says spray an A9 by 5 loaf pan. Okay. Okay, and then we're supposed to wait until this is completely cool before we glaze it. And you remove the bread from the pan after like 20 minutes. So we'll see what happens. We'll play that one by ear. But what do I mean about making it through the holidays or through the holidays is one thing. I don't know if people have the same issue I do, is that it's, I don't want to say depressing as much as just, it's just a melancholy time because you're done, well, you're not done hanging out with family, or maybe you are after the holidays. Oh no, get in there. But maybe, you know, you're going to at least take a break from each other. And frankly, it's just a weird time. You're taking everything down that you put up. I find that sad. So I look at it as a way to say, if I want to move through this year and not be shocked by what month it is every month, you need to go with the flow a little more. Be more present out in the world, because I find when I'm inside and I haven't been out in the world productive with other human beings, I find that it feels weird. It feels like a planet that you just like inhabited, so to speak. I hope somebody knows what I'm talking about. If you don't interact with a lot of people like me, it is a surreal feeling to like step out of your house after being in your house for a whole day, or 2, or 3, or 5, who knows. I mean, if you're ill, that's one thing. I think even getting outside to get fresh air when you don't feel good is a good idea, you know. if you live in these colder climates where I feel like the sun doesn't shine, we all know about seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, but I feel like that's different than like getting through the holidays and realizing, okay, this bread is going to be something else, guys. It is quite the interesting texture. Experiment number 1. You know, I will eat it anyway because I love eggnog and the flavor's there. It's just what the bread is going to come out like. Because it almost has the consistency of a yeasty bread. Ooh, that'd be a great band name. Yeah, I'm part of yeasty bread. I don't know. Anyway, but it is kind of, I know we all kind of withdraw when we're, you know, feeling sad or depressed or what have you, but it also helps to get out. Even if you're not going to communicate with other people, it does help to be present outside, if that makes any sense at all. Okay, well, I don't know, guys, what we're getting out of this, because she's weird. She's a weird texture. You look at the bubbles and I got a big old gap on this side. We'll see how it cooks up. I'll know for future reference what to do, not to do, hopefully. Okay. Oh, I don't want to put it in like that. I'll burn my hand. Alright, so in she goes. And it's 55 to 65 minutes, so I'm not going to mess with the time on that for sure. Especially since I think ours is probably a little bit more dense than theirs is. Alright, so while I'm talking to you about getting through the holidays or having made it through the holidays, because you should give yourself kudos for that for sure. Making it through the holidays is something just as productive and important. And you should be proud of yourself for whatever reason. Maybe it's just a hard time in general. Or maybe specifically you're having issues at the moment with certain family members or whatever. That, golly, I'm a mess today. I got paper towels everywhere. Okay, so I figure while I'm talking to you, I can mix together the ingredients for I'm going to do this sauce for the chicken first. I'm going to get my little whisk. I have a little mini whisk. There she is. Checking on my chicken. She still looks definitely hot. Definitely hot. Alright, so you know that this is our 1 cup of toasted Asian. Hold on, I'm going to show you the bottle. And it's actually a dressing / marinade at Jewel. Okay, so Asian toasted sesame. And it's got 310 milligrams of sodium. So that's pretty high. Okay, then this is our 1/3 of a cup of apricot jam, preserves, what have you. This is all supposed to go together. I don't know, I just think cooking it in the sauce makes more sense, but I don't know, maybe I don't know something. And then our 1 pack of, oh, I wanted to check, I think I just threw the box away today, so let me check. I gotta make sure that's only 1 ounce total weight. Yes, I did just throw it away today. Let's see. Okay, so there's 2 envelopes and the net weight is 2.2 ounces, so it's 1.1 ounce, I'm guessing. I hope that's right. I hope that's what that means. I don't want to make it too salty. I could just measure out 1 ounce, right? Which is, let me do that just to make sure they're not saying, that they're not saying that each packet is 2.2 ounces. I don't know if this measuring cup's going to help me much. They really don't have a 1 ounce measure, obviously. I don't think many people do. I guess 1 ounce could be tablespoons, right? I just want to eyeball and see. Just so I'm not misleading you on information. Because I am using not a store brand, so a lot of this just has the onion parts in it, so I guess it wouldn't be so horrible. Let's just see. Yeah, it's over 2 ounces. But see, all the good bits are in the bottom. Yeah, each packet is 2.2 ounces. But what is that going to do for our flavor profile if we don't use an ounce? If we use 2, because the sodium, I'm going to guess, is pretty high on that as well. You know what? I'm going to put you guys on pause for just a minute, and I'm going to read up on what we should do. I'll be back. All right, guys, I'm back. 1 ounce is 2 tablespoons, and I'm just going to kind of hopefully be able to get you a little bit of everything and not too much of the actual saucy stuff. Alright. Which is weird because this is a beef kind of bouillon flavor. So it's weird that we're using that with chicken, but maybe the compounds together work well. Trying to bust up that apricot preserve and get the oniony stuff mixed in there also. Okay, let me give it a whiff. It's weird because I wonder why she has you use apricot specifically, you know? It is a conundrum. Okay. So that's all mixed. And I still have some of this lovely onion powder mix left. And then I'm going to put this away because I'm kind of mixing myself up here between the two recipes. Okay. And then I need a bowl for I'm going to make my glaze, which is mixed glaze and whisk. That's all it says. So hopefully I can mix it in here without making a huge mess. What did I replace? Oh, the butter extract. I read about the butter extract, and I read that you can use you know what? I think I'm going to use that little whisk again, especially since I don't want this to get all over my counter. Okay, so the powdered sugar substitution. I think I've showed you this before, but I'm going to show you the packaging again. Okay, it's called Swerve. Swerve. And the purple bag is the confectioner's sugar. So I used all of this is the 1 cup of sugar I used. Okay, I didn't use, and then to replace the butter, let me wash this out. To replace the butter extract, which I didn't even know existed, I'm just using vanilla. I mean, vanilla and eggnog go together, so why not? So I'm gonna whisk together the seasonings and the powdered sugar first. I'm still on here, right? Okay, cool. And we're only at 45 minutes for making, keeping in mind that I, pre-measured everything. So I decided not to do my hair today as my way to cope with, remember I talked to you last week about powering through? Yeah. So I'm wearing my hat today as my powering through hat. I like to assign my clothing different jobs, I guess. All right, and then the next thing is, I'm wondering if I should just mix the vanilla with the eggnog. And then I'll mix that together. All I can smell is the toasted Asian sesame dressing on my fingers. Alright, and then we're going to pour this in. And hope for the best, guys. So, I just think eggnog itself is such a rich, decadent thing that we don't need to, you know, overdo the actual sugar. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. The sugars and everything. And if we can cut down, I want to read you the packaging too, because it talks about it being, so it measures like sugar, tastes like sugar, it's gluten-free, diabetes-friendly, bakes like sugar, non-glycemic, tummy-friendly, and keto-friendly. So I said, that can't hurt anybody, right? I'm just trying to see. It doesn't technically. It does say gluten-free. That was one of the first things I said. Okay. Woohoo! So we're going to get this all... Get in there. I guess I should have grabbed my bigger whisk. But what are you guys doing? And comment in the section below. What are you guys doing that helps you, now that you're through the holidays, helps you to kind of deal with the rest of the year? And I mean it in the sense that, okay, we just got over a big grouping of holidays. You know, you go Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. And then, yes, you hit Valentine's Day and all those good fun things, but it's not quite the same kind of holiday, you know? And not everybody acknowledges Valentine's Day, like, oh, okay, Hallmark, thanks for the extra holiday. I don't know. It is frosting-esque right now, and I'm thinking it's supposed to be more glazy, so I might add a little bit more eggnog before our time is up, but that's not really anything we need to deal with right this second. It's just what helps you. Does talking to people help you? Does you know, taking a vacation help you? Does not taking a vacation and going back to work, going back to reality help you? Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to figure out the best way to get over that hump a little bit, because taking down the Christmas decorations is one of the things I dread the most, not because it's a chore, but because I don't really want to take them down yet, you know? I do keep up a set of Christmas lights year-round now. This is the second year I've been doing it. I don't know why, I just find them cheerful, so I turn them on. And now there's Soxy's lights. Now that he's passed away, I turn them on every morning and I say, "Good morning, Soxy, I got your lights on." I know. Crazy. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that helps me to, you know, get through parts that aren't so great. That we don't have to be cheerful and peppy and happy all the time. But we can be out there and we can be participating in life without feeling like it's everything has got to be the way you feel after a holiday, which is just kind of drained and numb. I'd say a little whirly, or I don't want to say dizzy, because then you're all going, are you sure you're not sick? I guess in a sense I am. I feel like I have holiday sickness. I don't think I'm the only one. I might be the only one giving it a name, but I feel like it has that after holidays, I don't want to say blues, but after holidays flu of some sort. I think we need to come up with a name. If anybody's got some great ideas, put them in the comment section. I'd love to hear them. I think I'm going to let you go for a little bit because we got like 40 minutes yet for this to be done. Fingers crossed. I do think, however, that probably in the next hour or so, I'm going to be adding the sauce to my chicken. If I have any juices rendered from the chicken, I think I will be adding the sauce to the chicken. So, there might be a reason why she waits that long, because then the chicken is fully cooked and the juices are not then raw anymore. So that might be another factor. I'll keep you posted. Alright guys, I'll be back in a little bit. Fingers crossed this all turns out just ducky. See you in a little bit. Alright, I have a quick beef. I'm trying to get my sesame seeds open. They give you this little plastic flap to open them. Who can get this open without ripping this flap off now? And having sesame seeds fly everywhere. Who? Okay, that's my rant. I'll be back. Alright, we got about 7.5 minutes left. I figure what I could do is I'm going to show you how I'm toasting the sesames. Basically, I just took a non-stick pan. No spray. Dry. And then you just put however many seeds, and since it's just a garnish, because there's sesames in the actual dressing itself, I'm just gonna, I just wanted to toast them up a little bit. It doesn't have to be on high. They go pretty quick, so keep an eye on them. And I also thought I could cut some of the green onions for you, if I knew where my cutting board had disappeared to. Okie dokie. So I guess I'm using a plate. But, and then I also wanted to just touch base with through the holidays. Feel proud of yourself, okay? I understand that not everybody goes through the same holidays, but everybody goes through something at that time of the year. Regardless of what your religion, nationality, where you live, we all come to the end of the year and we all feel like that's monumental. Like, you know, New Year's resolutions, everybody makes those, but they don't make sense because you're setting a level so high that there's no way you can achieve it, so you quit. And there's ways to achieve it if you set smaller goals. Even as a New Year's resolution, set 5 small goals as opposed to 1 large one. Think about it in terms of monthly goal. Break it down like that. So maybe it's not a New Year's resolution so much as a January resolution. And then do a February resolution. We can do that on here. I would be happy to help set a resolution. I need a resolution for myself to drink more water. How I go about that is something I either need to trigger in my mind, because if you set a good habit with a not so good habit, like one you don't forget to do because you love it so much, whatever it may be, maybe that triggers something in your mind to go, oh, hey, time to drink more water. And I do that with my pills. I drink a full glass of water so I feel like I'm getting enough water, especially with the coffee. I realize it's not quite the same, but the theory is that most of the time when I'm taking a pill, I'm chugging it, and it doesn't always set well after. And I think if I drink more water during the day as opposed to just chugging it when I'm taking pills might make a difference. We shall see. I don't know how many green onions I'm doing. See, I already forgot about my pan. Luckily they're not doing anything yet. They seem so tiny. Maybe I need to turn it up a smidge. Okay. So that's my resolution for January. We'll see how that goes. You know, I'm going to do 4 because I do have a salad set up as well that I could probably add any residual onion to. So think about something that would help you get through January, will help you feel a little bit better about yourself, will help you accomplish a goal, so you can check that off your list right in the first month, and something that requires you to actually work a little bit at it, because obviously if you didn't have to work at it, you'd probably be doing it already. But you have to take that challenge, and that's why we do these challenges. I'm not even smelling them yet. So, I mean, pick something of that nature. You know, start a journal. That could be my January one because I have completely been off the grid with the old journal. I think our bread is going to turn out a little funky. Isn't that it's actually more like real bread, but I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be something more like real bread. I don't know. Maybe I did something right. Maybe I did something wrong. We'll find out, won't we? So that's the first thing to deal with, and maybe write down the goal, and maybe for each day in the month of January, pick something that's going to lead you to that next goal. Because I think that's what I need is to get that kick in the butt to, now we're starting to get a little toasty. Oh yeah, I can smell it now. I'm going to turn it down just a bit. Because the pan is already hot, I feel like they're going to just keep cooking anyway. I'm going to pay attention to this for a second. But that's what it is. So once you accomplish all those goals in January, it should then lead you right into February. What's that goal? You don't have to pick that goal in January, though. You could pick it in February, in my opinion. Give February a test drive. See what happens. Make sure it's going in the direction you want it to. And if you miss some steps in January, don't worry about it. Maybe that's what you need to add to February. That's why you don't want to plan so far in advance. Couple weeks tops. I'm a fly by the seat of my pants kind of gal, and a lot of times that hasn't helped me. So planning might be something I need to work on. I need to get organized. I want to move. So we need to get everything in order and figure out what we need to fix. All fun things that lead to a positive end goal. You know? And like I said, I've always felt like I was kind of being dragged to certain parts of what I do in my life. Like when I became a personal trainer, that kind of I was just kind of led there, if that makes any sense. I'm not the type of person that feels like they make all the decisions. Like I feel like life makes a lot of the decisions, whether you want it to or not, baby. And so I feel like things that happened not to me, but for me or because of me or residually connected to me came through no, I don't want to say no instigation, but no initial instigation from myself. So, or yourself. I mean, it applies to all people across the board, I feel like. You know, I feel like you get to decide about 30%. No, I'm kidding. I feel like you get to decide a good portion of your life, but it doesn't always feel like you're the one that's making the ultimate decisions. I don't know if that makes any sense. So I feel like planning maybe helps it. Ooh, that's the end of the bread, too. Because I tested it earlier. Alright. I tested it earlier, and like I said, it's a funky texture. It looks more like real bread. I'm going to say it's done only because, like when I checked it earlier, it was just a little doughy on the inside, but it's very pretty. It's just, I got to set it down for a second so I can test it. It smells real good. It's just, texture is just a little, I don't want to say texture so much as the way it looks on the outside. It looks like wheat bread. Nope, still pretty doughy. She's got at least 10. At least 10 more minutes, maybe. That was the ultimate. Do it an hour to 2 hours, or no, Sorry, 55 to 65 minutes. So I think we're going to have to do it at least. I'll test 5 and see what happens. All right. So that's it for this episode, guys. I'm going to cut this up. I'm pretty much going to use all of this. I like the white part and the green part. I think, like I said, if I have any leftovers, I'll just put them in the salad we're going to have with it. And I'm just making rice for the sesame chicken. I just hope it comes with enough sauce. My husband's a sauce guy. And I mean, you definitely need sauce for rice. So I get that. And I don't always want it to be just completely soy sauce, you know? But I think I'm going to be able to add the sauce shortly. I'm not getting any juice off of my... I just flipped it over. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Kind of hard to cut on a paper plate. I just flipped them over about 10 minutes ago, I'd say. So they were pink on the underneath part. But now that I can see the part where it was pink, I'll be able to decide. That'll be kind of my temperature gauge to decide whether I'm adding this when I add the sauce. Because I think I can add it sooner in the process and allow it to kind of develop a little bit. But I do get kind of why she did it. I think it's because of the raw juices in the chicken. So I do want to get it to the point where it won't ruin the sauce or get us all sick. But this is an easy enough recipe. Like if you work all day, all you have to do is throw chicken in a crock pot and turn it on low. Low for 6. And then maybe even make the sauce the night before. Or when you get home and then cook it for that extra half an hour, you know? Because it's going to be off for like 2 hours if you're at work for 8. Mine you can do on low for 8, so maybe do that. Slow it down even more so that when you get home, but you still want that half hour. So, I don't know. I guess play it by ear and see what happens. But it's just throwing chicken. I didn't season the chicken at all. Which the nice thing is that it's going to start cooking right away, so it's not just sitting raw inside the crock pot while you're at work, waiting to be turned on by someone else, or I don't know. Do they have timer ones where you can put the food in now? I don't even know. I'm sure Crock-Pot has definitely stepped up their game. Now that Instapot is out, we have one of those as well. So, I guess if you had an Instapot, you could cook this in there even faster. Right? So you will have... I don't know why I'm cutting so much. You can hear all these squeakies on the video. So I think there's several ways to go about this. I think you could always make it in a pan. Just a saute pan. Or you could probably even bake it in the oven. Oh, sorry, I lost my voice there. Bake it in the oven, you know. Put it in just like a oven-safe kind of thing with a lid. And put the chicken and just put everything in there. Cook it. What kind of sauce or juice? I am getting a little bit more juice. I'm almost ready to put the sauce in though, I can tell. Like I said, I'm playing by ear here. Okay, that's it guys. Now, if you want to find out how it turns out, you're going to have to follow me on Facebook at Kristen Haas, KristinHass. That's right, 1 A, 2 S's. And then if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at The Best Blessed Life. So follow me on both. Check out my stories every day. That's where my positive quotes are. I do a nice little graphic to go with it. Make them all fancy for you. Get you motivated. And I think that's it, guys. How do we do? Oh, an hour and 4 minutes. But we got 2 things out of it. Dinner and dessert. And I will take pictures and I will share with you guys later. And with that being said, I want you to have a good day. Go do great things. Be your best self. And please live your best blessed life. Thanks for watching. Bye.